How to prepare for a job interview in 2022. Whether you're looking for a job or you already have an interview lined up, you'll want to pay attention to this video for 5 powerful tips on how to prepare for a job interview. The first tip, and this might be obvious, but you'll want to make sure to carefully review the job description. You want to pay close attention to exactly what those requirements are and revisit, based on your current and prior roles, your experiences that make you a qualified candidate for this position. What I personally like to do is make a list of all the must-haves of this role and all the nice-to-haves of this role, and then jot down my relevant experiences so that when I do have the interview, I can have a natural conversation about my relevant experiences based on all these bullet points that would then help convince the interviewer that I'm the right candidate for this role. The second tip is to understand the culture, and this one might be obvious as well, but basically you want to research the company and you want to have a vested interest. Understand what the company does, how it operates, and what its mission is. In fact, a simple Google search or a search on LinkedIn for this company will help you achieve just that. This will help educate you so that you can better understand the business needs, and you can also ask smart questions when it's time for the interview. Now, while you are on LinkedIn, and this might sound a little bit creepy, but trust me, it's fine, be sure to look up your interviewer on LinkedIn, get to know a little bit of their background as well. Maybe you might find some common interest or commonalities, such as maybe they went to the same school as you, or maybe they have similar interests. And as a result, when you are in that interview, feel free to bring up these topics, because this will show the interviewer that you are a like-minded individual and it's going to work out in your favor. Quick pause. If you have made it this far, consider liking the video and also subscribing to the channel for more content like this. Tip number 3 is to be a salesperson. Listen, I get it. A lot of people, including myself, are introverts. But when you're in an interview, you really want to appear extroverted and you want to appear confident so that you can convince the interviewer that you are an approachable, delightful individual. An interview is not meant to be a one-way street of questions and answers. You're not a slave. You're someone who wants to work with the company. So try to make this less of a test and more of a conversation. When you talk about your relevant experience, try to quantify your impact. Numbers speak louder than words. I saved $1.2 million by doing ABC. I increased sales volume by 20% by doing XYZ. What's even better is if you design your answers in a star format. And what this means is you basically give them a situation that you came across. What was the situation? What was the task that you were assigned? What was your action for that task, or towards that task, or towards resolving that task in that situation? And finally, what was the result of your actions? And that leads me to another point, right? We all like to say, you know, we did this or we did that, because it makes you come across as a team player. You know, you like to collaborate. You like to give credit to everyone who deserves it. But when you talk about impacts or results, try to word it in a way where you can say, we did X, Y, Z, and then I did A, B, and C. Because a lot of times the interview wants less to do with we, and they really want to know what you as an individual did and the results that you alone brought or contributed towards that overall teamwork or that overall project. And remember, this is a two-way conversation. So feel free to ask the interviewer a question, something to the effect of, hey, what type of problems are we looking to solve in the next 6 months? And maybe you could even propose a high-level solution. Obviously, you don't work at the company yet, so you're not going to know all those intricate details. But this shows, hey, I'm the right person for this job, and I'm already hitting the ground running by generating these ideas. Tip number 4 is to recite, rinse, and repeat all those interview questions. It is absolutely important for you to practice interview questions. Now, it doesn't have to be a mock-up interview. You don't have to answer these questions out loud. Just do it in your head, but be sure to prepare those questions, those top interview questions that will likely be asked. The first thing you need to formulate is your elevator pitch. So when you go and, when you come across someone and you have about 20 and 30 seconds to tell them about yourself, to really convince them of what you do and what makes you a qualified candidate within that short time frame of 20 and 30 seconds, that's what you need to focus on and prepare for. After that, know that one of the first questions any job interview will ask you is, tell me a little bit about yourself. Be sure to practice for this question too, and just keep in mind you should absolutely not be going over your resume when they ask, tell me about yourself. The recruiter or the interviewer, they already know what your resume looks like. You've already written it down. There's no need to repeat everything that's already on paper. When you're asked, tell me about yourself, you want to tell them something interesting about yourself that's not on your resume that helps convince that you are the perfect candidate for this role. They want to learn something interesting about you along with your communication skills. So be sure to say something exciting that sets you you apart. Once those two pieces are covered, you can now move on to your other interview questions, which is going to comprise of two different types of questions. You have your technical interview questions, and then you have your behavioral interview questions. Based on your particular career, you can then Google these interview questions and practice accordingly. Repeat these questions in your head throughout your day, whether you're eating, whether you're showering, whether you're in bed right before sleep. I don't care. Practice, practice, practice. That's the only way to crack the interview. Now, tip number 5 is to have a professional folder or portfolio ready to go. Make sure you have your job description, your resume, maybe even some work samples ready to go and ready to review when you need them. Even if this is a video interview, do the same thing. Have those documents readily available to access. If you're able to share a demonstration of what you've done in your current or prior roles, then man, interviewers really love that. Maybe you made a website for a client, or maybe you had a project proposal for a new product that was going to be launched, or maybe you made an infographic. It could really be anything, but if you're able to demonstrate that, it really works out in your favor. It shows not only your passion for work, but it also shows your presentation skills, which are all going to add up in your favor. Also, in your folder or portfolio, be sure to have a number of questions ready to ask the interviewer. I don't just mean the when should I expect to hear from you. I mean smarter questions. Questions about the company or the role, such as, hey, what does a top performer look like in this role? Or hey, what does an individual in this role seek to accomplish in the first 6 months? Heck, you can even make this about the interviewer. You can ask them one thing they most like about the company and one thing they least like about the company. This shows that you're pretty much a straight shooter, but it also educates you on the pros and cons of working at this company right from someone who actually does work at the company. Overall, this shows that you really do care to learn more about the company, and it makes you stand out. Now, of course, there are numerous other tips, but I found these to be the most impactful. Keyword, impactful. So I wish you the best, and I hope you could check out some of my other videos if you do enjoy content like this. Thank you for watching.